going on? It's Sheev the Wise. Welcome back to Vader's Lair. We have a lot of Star Wars news to talk about today, so let's get straight into it. A lot of Kenobi updates. It's going to be a good time, so let's kick back, relax in the chat, and let's get into the lair. Hope you guys are having a good week so far. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. It helps us out a lot. Hope you guys are having a good one though. Let's get straight into the news. There is a lot to talk about with Kenobi, starting with the latest kind of reports and stuff that came out from the Liam Neeson stuff. So if you guys didn't really follow this, Liam Neeson recently was in a interview where he talked about returning to Star Wars. So let me find this article real quick because I had it right there and then it disappeared. Liam Neeson says he's only interested in returning to Star Wars on the big screen. So this is a Star Wars Newsnet article, but he did have a interview, I think it with comicbook.com. Okay, so let's get into the article again. It says Liam Neeson says he's only interested in returning to Star Wars on the big screen. Interesting. Liam Neeson might be one of Hollywood's busiest men. He isn't completely ruling out a return to a galaxy far, far away, although he says any return as Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn would have to be on the big screen in a film. Skeptical fans can rightfully speculate Neeson is doing a classic bait and switch kind of misdirection kind of thing, which we've seen other people like Andrew Garfield do with Spider-Man No Way Home. So it says many believe Neeson will return for Obi Wan Kenobi, but the Jedi Master is doing his best to throw curveballs into the mix regardless of what the truth ends up being. So, I mean, come on now. Liam Neeson is gotta be yanking our chain. He said in a quote here, Qui-Gon, I can't believe it's 24 years since we made Star Wars The Phantom Menace. I just can't believe where the time has gone. It's been a terrific experience shooting that film in London. That's what he said, at least on that. And then that was the most kind of stuff he said there. Passage, blah, blah, blah. This is a bigger article than I thought it would be. But yeah, Liam Neeson basically is saying if he's going to come back to Star Wars, it's going to be in a movie, which I think is a load of hoopla. It's a load of it. There's no way that's the truth. There's no way. There's just no way. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. Let me know in the poll. 86% of you guys say yes so far. There's been a lot of reports that Liam Neeson's Qui-Gon Jinn is going to return to the Star Wars galaxy. But let me know what you guys think. I still think he will, personally. And yeah, Green Bear, he did. It's late, says Matthew Cruz. It is. We're doing a little bit of a later stream. I'm sorry for getting this one out a little later today. We did a stream earlier with Star Wars Stan in the morning, and that was an absolute blast. And then I did one earlier with Green Bear as well. Big shout out to everybody in the chat, in the community. Much love, all of you guys. Let's get into it, see what you guys are saying. Jedi Jen says, Liam needs to worry about not peeing his pants in public. Apparently that's a thing. I was a little taken back by that this morning when I heard that. It's a little wild. But speaking of other actors in the Kenobi show, recently being in interviews, Rupert Friend, the guy that is playing the Grand Inquisitor himself, was recently in an interview as well, and he talked about Kenobi. So this article also comes from Star Wars Newsnet, and it says Obi Wan Kenobi, Rupert Friend teases wonderful cameos, calls series a thrilling ride. Let's get in the article here. It says with Obi Wan Kenobi barely a month away from release, we are getting more details on several people involved with the show every week. Rupert Friend, who plays the Grand Inquisitor, is currently promoting his latest Netflix series, Anatomy of a Scandal. He was briefly interviewed by Hey You Guys at the world premiere of the series, and naturally, he was asked about the upcoming Star Wars Disney Plus series. Friend teased that Ewan McGregor does things in Kenobi or in the Kenobi role that will be a dream for fans of the original films to see. He also said that we should expect some cameos and Easter eggs. He had this to say when asked how excited fans should be for Kenobi. In quotes, "If it's possible to be any more excited than folks already are, I would be. I think it's one of the most thrilling additions to Star Wars canon. I think Ewan McGregor is doing things with that role that is a dream for the fans of the original films. We can't obviously have Alec Guinness back, but I think Ewan was absolutely born to play this part. But wonderful cameos from people I obviously can't tell you about, Easter eggs galore, and yeah, it's a thrilling ride." Some pretty high praise there from Rupert Friend, who is going to be playing the Grand Inquisitor in the series, even though some fans have kind of had some backlash on how his character looks so far. I'm super excited to see what Rupert Friend has done with that character, how they have brought the Grand Inquisitor to life, and I think what he says here just makes it that much more exciting going into Star Wars Obi Wan Kenobi, as fans are already... I don't even know. Fans are so excited already, and he's saying if it's possible to be more excited, we should be. I mean, I'm too hyped for this show at this point. I'm getting way too hyped for this show. So this isn't the first time Rupert Friend has been asked about the project recently. Speaking with BBC's The One Show, he discussed how much he would sweat while wearing the Grand Inquisitor costume. He would also go on to speak about the symbiotic relationship between the Star Wars fans and the people making Star Wars. For people who are not familiar with Rupert Friend's acting abilities, he is in Anatomy of a Scandal like we talked about, and I think he played Agent 47 in the Hitman movies, and I think that's kind of how they got the whole bald Rupert Friend thing for the Grand Inquisitor. But I don't know. That's I'm pretty sure that's what's going on with that. Mike Motherflippin' Porter, it's good to see you in the chat. He says, "What's the big deal of Liam having wet his pants in public? When I go to public, it looks like a water fountain down there. I'm just saying." I don't know what the big deal is either. I don't know. Yeah, that's a question for some other people. I'm gonna go to Scarif. Bye. Alright, Yash, I'll see you soon. Welcome into the chat, though. Green Bear says, "Just don't say his forehead is too small on Twitter. They'll get you." They will. You gotta be careful when you go on the Twitters. That's for sure. Dizzy Gallery. Oh yes. So another thing that had come out today from Jordan Mason was that the Disney Gallery for the Book of Boba Fett is supposed to come out on May 4th, which is really exciting, and I honestly cannot wait to see the behind the scenes for that show. I can't wait to see what they have to say about it too. I think the other gallery episodes for Star Wars have been really insightful and really cool to see kind of how John and Dave go about the process, especially with these directors that they had for The Mandalorian and everything. I can't wait to see what Robert Rodriguez has to say about the show as well. I think it'll be really interesting. I'm excited for it. I am excited for that, but it comes out May 4th. Keep your eyes out. It's going to be a good thing. It's going to be good. Let's get on here with the news. There was also some news on the Obi Wan Kenobi composer, or the music for it. So the latest kind of rumor is that the composer for the Loki series is going to be the composer attached to the Obi Wan Kenobi show. We know that John Williams is going to be doing a couple new renditions of some of his old works for Star Wars. But it seems as though the main composer might actually be the Loki composer, which I thought the Loki music was really good, but there are some other people it possibly could be still. With the Star Wars Newsnet article, I believe they talked about the Rogue One and so the dude that did Rogue One and Solo, John Powell and Michael Giacchino, I think, were recently talked about it. But the latest rumor is that the Loki composer is attached. I forget the name of the Loki composer. I'm trying to find it. Obviously, Ludwig Göransson is also a possibility, as he worked on The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, which would also be awesome. I would love for him to continue to work on the live-action Star Wars shows. I think he does a great job. I really like Ludwig. that's the bulk of that, though. You guys can check out that Rupert friend interview if you want. It's out there online, as well as that Liam Neeson one. Let's see what other Star Wars news there was recently. Alright, before we get into some teases for the Ahsoka show, there was a big announcement today for another new Star Wars game, and if I can pull up the article for it, it's pretty interesting. It actually was pretty interesting. I talked about it earlier today with Star Wars Santa and the crew over there, as it kind of popped up right as we were talking about it. But Amy Hennig and Skydance New Media are creating a new Star Wars game. Now, this article is on StarWars.com, but let's dive straight into it. It says a new Star Wars adventure is on the way from one of gaming's most acclaimed creators. Skydance New Media today announced a collaboration with Lucasfilm Games to develop and produce a narrative-driven action-adventure game featuring an original story in the Star Wars galaxy. Helming Skydance New Media is an award-winning writer and director, Amy Hennig, a game industry legend whose credits include blockbuster series like Legacy of Kain, Jak and Daxter, and of course the biggest one, Uncharted. Now, I think Amy Hennig has done a great job with the Uncharted games, and through all that, I know there was some conflict a couple years ago, and I think they get into it here, where Amy was working with EA at one point, and they had signed on to do a Star Wars game, and because of some conflict with whatever was going on with EA at the time, the game never happened. And so now Amy has gone along and basically left EA and created her own company called Skydance New Media, and with that company she has signed a new deal to create a Star Wars game. Whether it's the same game that she was originally working on with EA or a new one that she's doing with her production company and everything, I'm super excited for it. I'm excited that Amy gets a new shot to try and make a Star Wars game. I think it could be really good, whatever it is, compared to some of the other games that have kind of been announced recently, whether it's Eclipse or some of the other games that might take a few years longer than we originally had hoped when we had seen trailers and whatnot. I think this game can actually come out within the next couple of years. I don't know how ambitious it's going to be, but I'll just tell you right now, with what I've heard about Amy, knowing she worked on Uncharted and everything that I've kind of heard about this project, I have more hope for this project than some of the more recent ones. There's no really name attached to it yet or anything like that, so obviously it's very early on. They kind of just probably signed a deal. But Skydance New Media was formed in 2019 with the goal of creating high-fidelity, richly interactive experiences crafted for traditional gaming platforms as well as emerging streaming services, and designed to be appealing, inviting, and accessible to global audiences. Since its creation, the studio has assembled a team of developers and artists with decades of AAA experience in action and adventure games, as well as a diverse team or creative consultants from the worlds of film, television, games, and comics. And I did hear that I think they're going to be hiring for this project as well, which might be a red flag. I don't really know. I'm not too deep into the gaming kind of community. I did take some gaming courses back in college, and I do have a little bit of insight in what the industry is like, but not too much. So I'm hopeful that this game is still, as big as it could potentially be, but it seems to be pretty good. It seems pretty chill right now. Daniel Fisher, welcome into the chat. What's going on, my guy? Darth Chaos. Let's hope they come through. Yeah, for real though. Chief, did you see Ahsoka set leak? So if you're talking about the Ahsoka picture with her and Darth Maul, that one is not real. But if there's been some other ones recently that came out, I probably haven't seen it yet. I was pretty busy today. Hey, yeah, Daniel Fisher and Mike, you guys are legends. Much love to Tim as well. CT0420 says we better be hanging out. That's what's up, CT. I'm a game speedrunner. Nice. Hitting the hay, but hey, that's what's up, my guy. Much love, Daniel Fisher. Ahsoka set was so real. Interesting. Yeah, it looked pretty real. The camera was kind of the telling thing for the Ahsoka picture that was kind of Just floating around there for a bit. Tim, I think, is taking some time off tonight, but send some love to him. Much love to your boy Tim. Always love to your boy Tim. That man's a legend. Alright, let's get into the next bit of information here, which was a Bryce Dallas Howard interview, if I can find that. If not, I'll have to kind of go off of the top of my head. Real quick, in other news, Rio Hackford, who was the on-set IG-11, had recently passed away, which is actually really, really sad news. It's possible he could have been used again for Mandalorian Season 3, even, as we've kind of heard rumors IG-11 could return. But RIP to Rio Hackford, really sad news. I think he did a great job kind of helping puppeteer and work that character. And it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. There was a possible tease of Dexter Jettster returning into Star Wars canon. I think the writer of the Brotherhood book about Obi Wan and Anakin has already kind of confirmed that Dexter Jettster is going to be in that. Well, what do you know? But I don't think Dexter Jettster is actually going to be in the Kenobi show, which is kind of sad. It's kind of sad. Oh, okay, so Bryce Dallas Howard said recently the fans of the Clone Wars are going to be greatly rewarded in the Ahsoka show. Let's get into this article from Rupert. It says, so it's an interview with Bryce Dallas Howard, who is a director for The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett. She's done some of my favorite episodes of live action Star Wars to date. And she did a interview with, it's titled Bryce Dallas Howard Loves Chocolate and Star Wars, just like you. It's true. I do. To get into the article, though, I'll just read it from the top. If you were here for a hard-hitting interview with actor and director Bryce Dallas Howard, well, I'm sorry to tell you, you're in the wrong place. If you're here for chocolate and Star Wars, well, then right this way. On a blustery Friday afternoon this month, I attended an event hosted by Howard and Lint to promote the Chocolatier's Golden Bunny. Oh my goodness, an adorable foil-covered Easter treat. That's pretty cute. So basically, Howard had this kind of thing going on, and because Howard had directed several episodes of The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, the interviewer had her children with her at this event, and they were all eager to ask her questions about Star Wars and, of course, chocolate. What followed were some chaotic celebrity interviews. So let's get into the interview portion here. So, of course, Bryce Dallas Howard's father is the director Ron Howard, who did the movie Solo: A Star Wars Story, of course, as well. And she kind of asked him about her father, and which Bryce Dallas Howard said that, you know, there's a term called run of the show, where you're putting on a show or something like that. And it kind of started with her, like, the whole business kind of side of directing movies and doing all that kind of stuff started for her when she was very young, which is cool because the interviewer had her kid with her as well. So it's kind of the kid was interviewing her with the mom, and I don't know, it's cool how the interviewer has a kid who's kind of interviewing, and then Bryce Dallas Howard was the kid of a director who's now directing. I don't know if you guys get that, but it's funny to me. It's cool. So to go on, though, there's an important question. And they say, okay, so I know we don't have that much time, and we do have some important Star Wars questions. I think our first question is, how much did you know about Star Wars before you became involved? And how much of research did you have to do before directing The Mandalorian? Bryce Dallas Howard says, growing up, our dad was and still is to this day very good friends with George Lucas, who created Star Wars, which, I mean, that would be so cool to grow up with your dad being friends with George Lucas, right? Says, we're close in age to his kids. The last time I saw him, George was like, I have a picture of all of you in the bathtub together. And I was like, that's awesome, George. And so every single year for Christmas, we would go get Star Wars figures. And before I was even old enough to know who the characters were and what the stories were, I was getting these little figurines and I was very curious about it and was really into it. I learned about Star Wars first through toys, and when I was old enough to watch the movies, of course we watched the movies. And then I got even luckier because when I was 15 years old, I went to a summer camp, and one of my friends at the summer camp is a woman who became known as Natalie Portman. That's always been what she's known as. But she went to a summer camp with Natalie Portman. I mean, how cool is that, right? And right after they went to the camp together, she ended up filming the prequels. Since she knew George and she was friends with Natalie, she was pretty young and wanted to have a friend come out and visit. So she got to go out and visit the set. So when she actually got to direct on The Mandalorian, she said she didn't realize how well she knew Star Wars, but I knew it pretty well. And of course, there's more to learn and things. And then there's this guy, Dave Filoni. Do you know who Dave Filoni is? Which then the son says, yes. And Bryce Dallas Howard says, yeah. So Dave Filoni, he knows Star Wars better than anyone other than George. And he was taught by George when he was doing all of the Clone Wars, because they did that together. And we worked together on Mandalorian. And then her son says, I love Clone Wars. It's my favorite. And Bryce Dallas Howard chimes in saying, without giving anything away, you're going to love the Ahsoka Show that's coming up. I can't tell you anything about it, but what I can say is that you being a fan of the Clone Wars, you're going to be greatly rewarded. And then Henry replied saying, you might not have the answers to this, but Beskar, it seems to be completely impervious. Which Bryce Dallas Howard says yes. And they go on to ask her, Mando seems to be able to be shot multiple times in the chest without ever taking any damage. But it seems weird to me because even though he wouldn't sustain damage to his suit, he wouldn't get injured on the inside. So is he overpowered in a way? Does he need time to recover? You're being shot by lasers, basically. How is he not getting hurt, right? So BDH tells the kid, yeah, you're absolutely right. He's very strong, and in Mandalorian culture, they've been trained to be warriors, and so they can do this. But then that's where back to spray comes in as well, which we see multiple times as Din Djarin gets blown up, needs the back to spray on him, slashes his leg with the Darksaber, needs to use back to spray on that to help it heal. So even though Din Djarin in the Beskar armor is kind of impervious and, you know, he's overpowered in a way by it, he still can get hurt, and we've seen it numerous times. So to go back though, I think the most important and interesting part of this article is the fact that Henry says that Clone Wars is his favorite, and Bryce Dallas Howard, of course, says that Clone Wars fans are going to be greatly rewarded. Now, with all the speculation that's been going on with the Kenobi show, potentially seeing flashbacks and that, a lot of people have been hoping to see Clone Wars flashbacks in the Obi Wan Kenobi show, myself included. And how could you not, especially if you were a fan growing up with that show, right? Well, I think it's possible. We're probably not going to see an exact kind of Clone Wars flashback in Kenobi, but where it actually makes more sense is to be in the Ahsoka show. Now, it makes more sense because Ahsoka's whole kind of time period, the main portion we get of Ahsoka where she kind of comes into her own, where she is mainly the main character, is the Clone Wars. That show is almost all about her. You kind of follow her perspective through it. Obviously, we get a whole bunch of other stories throughout it, but that is essentially her show. Ahsoka is essentially the main character of the Clone Wars. It even finishes off with her, right? So I've been thinking, what if the Clone Wars flashbacks we're all hoping are in Kenobi are actually in the Ahsoka show? And I've brought it up numerous times, but this only further kind of reinforces that thought, as Bryce Dallas Howard says that, you know, us Clone Wars fans are going to be greatly rewarded in there. I'm really hoping for it. I think it's possible. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. Do you think it's likely we could see some Clone Wars flashbacks in the Ahsoka show? We've already heard that Hayden Christenson has been casted in that show as well, likely playing Anakin Skywalker. Whether it's a Force ghost, whether we actually get flashbacks of him as Anakin and Rosario as Ahsoka, I'm down for either of it. I'm down for all of it. The fact that Hayden's in it just means this is even more likely. I'm just hopeful, man. I'm hopeful we not only get Clone Wars flashbacks, but Rebels flashbacks would be pretty nice too, man. It'd be pretty nice. Let me know what you guys think in the chat, though. Star Wars Obsession, it's good to see you, my dude. He says BDH is the best Star Wars director. I gotta say, for the live action show so far, I think she's definitely one of the best. She's definitely one of the best. Yosh says we need a Bryce Dallas Howard cameo in Star Wars. Do it. Do it. I would love to see her. I think she's a pretty solid actor. Please, just do it. Do it. Proxy says Ezra has so much potential. I hope it's not wasted. I don't think it will be. I don't think it will be. On the Ezra note, real quick, there's been kind of. I'll say this. I'm hopeful, and I've seen some other kind of reports or speculation that we could get some character announcements at Star Wars Celebration. Star Wars speculation. No, at Star Wars Celebration, there's been some speculation we could get some character announcements, and I'm really hoping that we could get Lars Mikkelsen finally announced as playing Grand Admiral Thrawn in live action, and then Mina Masad as Ezra. That's really what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping we get an Ahsoka panel. We get to see, all of those characters. Bryce Dallas Howard up there, Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, all the directors, and then have Rosario. Hayden would be dope to see on that panel or something, and then just do it. Just put everybody up there. Put everyone up on the panel. Just do it. Please, Rebels flashback, says Astro Jeremy. Do it, man. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I think the story is going to heavily involve Rebels characters, so I'm hoping for it, man. I'm hoping for it. Steve Staranka, welcome into the chat, my guy. He says, I could see some flashbacks to when she leaves the Jedi Order. That would hit deep. That would hit real deep. I would love to see that. Great point there, Steve. It'd make a lot of sense, too. I think, honestly, it's possible we could see Anakin as a Force ghost, so I'm down for it, man. You done talking about Kenobi? Yeah, I finished talking about Kenobi. When I was talking about Kenobi, it wasn't even anything big. Don't worry about it. I learned something new today. Bryce Dallas Howard was involved with Star Wars. Indeed. In many ways. Okay, so other news that came out recently. Visions has been rumored to be getting a season 2. It makes a lot of sense. There was talks of this back when Star Wars Visions season 1 kind of came out, and I think it could easily come out this year as well. And I think there's even going to probably be a panel at Star Wars Celebration for it, or at least a little thing for it. I imagine a lot of fans are going to be cosplaying as some of those characters. They're probably going to be continuing some of the stories from season 1. I think it's really good news, though. I loved Star Wars Visions season 1. I liked watching it all in one night with you guys when it first dropped. It was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to hopefully do it again this year. Let me know what you guys think of that. Are you excited for Star Wars Visions season 2? Because I am. I'm definitely excited for it. Continuing on. Oh, there was some other Kenobi stuff low-key, but I'm not going to talk about that. Other than that, though, there's been some hopes for Tales of the Jedi Grammar Rodeo. If you guys have any questions, put them into the chat for me. Anything you guys potentially want to know about Star Wars or just in general, go ahead, put it in the chat. Star Wars is apparently also going to be very heavy in Fortnite this season, and it seems like it's going to be the forefront of Fortnite this season. It might even be kind of the main thing, like Darth Vader might be the big bad, or kind of like when they did Thanos for when Infinity War or Endgame had come out. That was pretty cool, and I hope we get something similar where you have to beat Darth Vader, you could potentially get his lightsaber and use Force and all that stuff. It would be dope, man. I don't even play a lot of Fortnite anymore, but I mean, if Star Wars is going to be all over it, like they already had Din Djarin in there, Boba Fett and Fennec Shand kind of, at least outfits have been put into the game, so it's real dope, man. I'm excited for that. Sheev is close to 1K subscribers. We are. I can't wait. I appreciate every single one of you guys. You're the absolute best. Your support means the absolute world to me. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, because it really does help us out. Aaron Tomato, welcome to the chat, my guy. He says, definitely looking forward to more Visions. Dude, I am too, man. I am too. I don't know if I really liked. There was probably like 2 of the 6 or 8 episodes that I wasn't a huge fan of. Other than that, though, I thought Star Wars Visions was a really fun time. Proxy says, I hope we see another Jedi with Shatterpoint other than Mace. Would be dope AF to see in action. That would be dope. I gotta read through Shatterpoint still, but it would be real dope, bro. It would be real dope. I actually just finished the Thrawn trilogy of books, so I finished the Ascendancy trilogy and the other canon trilogy, and those books are freaking good, man. I think I talked about it already recently, but wow, those books are good. You guys should definitely read the Thrawn books, especially if you're a fan of Star Wars Rebels or want to know a little bit more about Grand Admiral Thrawn before going into the Ahsoka show when it probably comes out next year. It's a freaking great place to kind of get more of what's going on in Thrawn's head and what's going on with his story. I'm actually going to be making a video, I already started working on it, of Thrawn's kind of full canon story so that fans can kind of get informed of who he is before we get into that Ahsoka show. And it's going to be a real detailed video with a lot of stuff, because I'm telling you guys, I spent a lot of hours trying to figure out who this Thrawn character is in canon, and wow, he's a dope character. He's a dope character. Hey, hello to you, my guy. Hello to you. Astromech Jeremy says, is Tales of the Jedi gonna be Old Republic? I fantasized about animated series with our OT crew, Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, R2, 3PO, sort of during the Book of Boba Fett time period. Interesting question. I love it, Astromech Jeremy. So Tales of the Jedi, I don't think it's gonna be Old Republic, and I don't think it's gonna be set just after the Age of the Empire in the kind of New Republic era either. From what I've heard with Tales of the Jedi, it might even be a High Republic kind of era. It could be kind of the Phantom Menace, like right before that kind of era. That would be really cool. Maybe even during Anakin's age, that would be cool. But I think I've honestly heard it might be High Republic era. I know Grammar Rodeo at least was supposed to be High Republic era, and I don't know exactly if Tales of the Jedi and Grammar Rodeo are the same thing yet, but that's kind of been the theory, or at least, you know, some speculation has kind of tied those two projects together. It might just be the same kind of project. So I think it is likely going to be a High Republic era kind of thing, but there is some other animated show that's been a little kind of top secret kind of thing, I guess you could say. The Kiner brothers already talked about working on it. I think the Anakin voice actor, I can't remember his name right now. The Anakin Clone Wars voice actor, though, had talked about being a part of that project as well. So I wouldn't put it past, like, maybe there's this secret project that does have kind of those, you know, Chewie, Han, Luke, Leia. I would love an animated show based on that as well. I think that would be really, really cool. Kind of see what's going on with their adventures. I know there's some comics and stuff that kind of detail a lot of that stuff, but I would love to see an animated show kind of centered around that time period. But otherwise, yes, Matt Lancer. Thank you, Astromech Jeremy. I think Matt Lancer was tied to whatever this kind of secret animated thing was. I don't know if it's going to be a movie or a show, but I'm hoping to see that. And I do think Matt Lancer, I think, is supposed to be at Star Wars Celebration, if I'm not wrong. So I honestly think we're probably going to get announcements for Tales of the Jedi, if that's Grammar Rodeo. If not Grammar Rodeo, probably Tales of the Jedi, if that's like the animated thing. I don't know, because the two possibilities with Tales of the Jedi is that it is Grammar Rodeo, or that it is this like top secret animated project. And that's the kind of two things I think it could be. That's at least what I think right now. Master Padawan duo from Elder. Yeah, the Elder was dope. The Elder was great. I would love to see more of the Ronin character too, but I don't know, because we did get a book. I think they would continue that, because I think the Ronin character was one of the main kind of thing. And then the Ninth Jedi, I really like that one too. I would love to see more of that one. Yeah, Dawn says would like to see Ronin if the dual Ninth Jedi and the Jedi and Padawan from the Elder. Okay, yeah, you want to see those stories continue. Dawn, I definitely agree. Those were some of the best ones. Give me all the Anakin, says Proxy. Do it. Do it. I'd love to see as much Anakin as we could possibly get. And by the way, I don't know how I didn't say this already, but the biggest happy birthday to Hayden Christenson today that I could ever give. I mean, if you're on the East Coast, it's not his birthday anymore, but happy birthday, Hayden Christenson. 41 years old. I cannot wait to see him in the Obi Wan Kenobi show, finally reprising his role, and then in the Ahsoka show too. It's gonna be freaking awesome. It's gonna be freaking awesome. Ronin was my favorite. Yeah, I think Ronin was a lot of people's favorites. I really enjoyed the Ronin story. I really did. Alright, y'all. Let me know any last kind of things here. I'm trying to think. What else did we miss? There was a lot of news lately. A lot of news. I have not been able to keep up with it. Oh, okay. I don't think I talked about this yet. So there was a scoop from Star Wars Meg, which does not happen too often. But Star Wars Meg had a scoop this morning on Mas Amedda, of all people, being in the Andor show. My bad for not warning potentially ahead of time. And again, take it with a grain of salt for now. Potential spoilers though, it's possible Mas Amedda is going to be in the Andor show. That's really as much as we know right now from what Star Wars Meg has given us. But I think that could be really interesting. Mas Amedda is a very interesting character that is kind of like the sidekick to Palpatine, if you will. You see him kind of just standing there next to Palpatine throughout most of the prequel movies. And of course, if you're an avid reader of the comics or just know a lot of the deeper lore, you know that Mas Amedda also threw a lot of the lightsabers into the furnace after Order 66, including Grandmaster Yoda's lightsaber, which you can see in all its glory as Mas Amedda throws it into a furnace. It's pretty freaking wild. Reefer Man Reviews, welcome into the chat, my guy. It's good to see you. It is always good to see you. It's good to see you, my guy. He says, watching you on my phone while I stream a live video game. That's what's up, my guy. Yo, happy 420 to you. Didn't even realize that's 420, but yeah, on the East Coast it is. Happy 420, Reefer Man. Imagine if Mace Windu gets teased as a post-credit scene for Kenobi. That would be dope. I don't think it's going to happen, but that would be dope. If Chopper pops up in Andor, I'm going to scream. Yo, Astromech Jeremy, man. I am with you, man. Now, I don't know anything for sure in terms of Andor. A lot of my homies have the inside on that. But I've been kept mostly in the dark with Andor. There's been a few things I've heard here or there, and I don't even know if they're true. But I will say, man, if what I've kind of been talking about with people and speculating on the Rebels crew being in Andor, if that comes to fruition, if we actually see the Ghost crew in Andor minus Ezra, because I think Ezra would come into the picture a little bit after the beginning of Andor, man, your boy's gonna freak out. Your boy's gonna freak the heck out. It's gonna be freaking lit. It's gonna be freaking lit. I'm writing my next video while listening to Sheev though. It's alright. It's alright. I was editing while doing this stream. No, I'm just kidding. I wasn't really doing But I do have some edits that I need to get to. Right now I'm working on a video that's kind of details the Inquisitors. I had to restart it because my last what's it called? My last external port died. So I had to get a new one. And I had to re-record that video and work on it again. And I've just been spending way too much time on my edits lately. But hopefully they turn out good. So that video is going to kind of detail who the canon Inquisitors are. It's going to kind of give a quick kind of run through of what's happened to them throughout canon. And then the next video I already kind of talked about. I'm also working on a Thrawn video. And then I actually just got something today that I'm bringing to Star Wars Celebration with me, and it's actually helping light my green screen right now. I got a lightsaber and I'm working on the video for it. I actually did an unboxing for once, which is new, kind of a new thing for the channel, but it is called the Fallen Flight It is a patch store lightsaber. It's freaking dope, man. It's freaking dope. I've never had a lightsaber quite this advanced. It does a lot of stuff. I mean, I have it muted right now, which, I mean, how many lightsabers mute themselves? So it's not like the NeoPixel kind of saber, but it's one of probably the most advanced lightsabers I've ever seen, or, you know, that I've ever owned personally. Woo! That's so dope. It's dope. Alright, whatever. You guys get the picture. It's dope. So keep your eyes peeled. I'm going to be doing a video for that. It's pretty freaking dope, man. I gotta say, we got a lot of things coming. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date with the latest in all things Star Wars. If you're checking out the Moon Knight episode tonight, enjoy it. I've enjoyed it so far. Episode 3 was pretty freaking wild. I think episode 4 is going to be pretty exciting too. Much love to everybody in the chat, though. I know it's a little bit shorter of a stream today, but we're probably going to get out of here. I covered most of the news, so I appreciate y'all for hanging in the chat. Make sure to subscribe to Vader's Lair, smash the like button on the video, and I'll probably see you guys tomorrow. Definitely Thursday, we're going to be doing a Star Wars The Clone Wars chronological rewatch, and we're probably going to catch up on some Lego Star Wars, man. It's been a little bit since we played, and I've been having a lot of fun playing that game. So much love. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Thank you for hanging out in the chat. May the Force be with you always. Peace out, y'all. Before we go, I just saw your chat, Steve. Much love for checking out the Vader's Lair merch. Much love for getting that long sleeve. Your boy got the latest. Check out Vader's Lair's merch in the description below. It's pretty lit, if I do say so myself. Go check it out. It's champion. It's pretty nice material. Much love. Go check out our Discord. Have a good night.